What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So I guess Tyler Perry has a new movie out called Mia Culpa. I believe I'm pronouncing it right. It's on Netflix. And from what I've been seeing across social media, is getting negative reviews. I haven't watched the movie yet myself. I haven't watched it yet. But from the gripes that I'm seeing from the movie, it's a gripe that I feel like I've had with Tyler Perry production as of lately. And Tyler Perry needs writers, man. Seriously. And this is not going to be a video where I'm denigrating Tyler Perry because I got a lot of respect for the brother and what the empire he's built based upon the movies and the stage plays that he's made and the opportunity that he creates for a lot of black actors and actresses, right? People we've never heard of, he's put on. People that we haven't heard from in a while, he puts them in his movies and stuff like that, which is a dope thing, right? He got his own production studio. As a black man, that's phenomenal. But like, I don't even have to watch this movie to tell you that I've seen other things that he's done. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, the TV show that he had called Bruh. You can look on my channel. I had a review of the show. Show was terrible. From the dialogue to the way that scenes would just drag on and on and on with like pointless banter a lot. Like they'll present a situation that's a problem, and the whole time everybody's sitting around. So what are you gonna do? They'll say something, and then at the end of a little back and forth between them, it gets back to around. So what are you gonna do? So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna tell her? Are you gonna tell her? Did you tell her? Did you tell her? What are you gonna do? So what are we gonna do? Like just scenes dragging out for a very very long time, and even people interacting in a way where I'm like, nah, people don't talk like this, bro. Like this is not how black folks on a regular interact with each other. So I would get lost at times, like bro. And I'm saying he needs writers because I remember a while back, some years ago, he had like a table full of scripts with all his shows, and he was like low key, um, pumping his chest out about the fact that he like, I'll write these shows my damn self. I fired all my writers. I'm writing these shows my damn self. And I'm looking like, no, bro. From what I've been seeing, you need some writers. That movie, A Fall from Grace, was not good, bro. Like, it wasn't. And I'm like, yeah, he needs somebody to help him write these plots to these shows, man. And there's nothing wrong with help. I understand sometimes when you're hiring all these different writers, some people have gripes, you have issues, but you need somebody to bounce ideas off of. You know, because they'll tell them certain things. Even watching the show Sisters, right? My mama loved the show Sisters. I found the show entertaining. I used to watch it sometimes with my son's mother, right? And it was entertaining moments, but then it was like cringe conversations, cringe like interactions, and I'm like, yo, this is not how people regularly like. Even in you can create drama, you can create suspense, you can create mischief without like cringe conversations that would not happen and or even in some of the craziest situations amongst people, especially black folks. And I felt like there were certain nuances that he would miss. And I understand how it can be missed. Tyler Perry has been amongst the wealthy for a long time. He hires people who aren't wealthy a lot of times to act in these shows, but when a person is wealthy, they've been like, and I don't know the brother's life or personal life, but I can just imagine when you got money like that, you're not living amongst a whole lot of black folks like that. And you, even if you are living amongst black folks, a lot of time it's amongst the bourgeoisie, like elite black folks rather than the common black people. And you kind of forget how common black folks interact and how we talk and how we handle certain situations. And those nuances were missing from some of the things that he was putting on, like Fall from Grace, Sisters, the show, bro. Bro was terrible, bro. I mean, like, it was just like to me, bro, was like a long Instagrams, like them skits on Instagram and Facebook. At times, some of these shows can feel like that. And I feel like the brother has too much money to where he can get some other resources to help him put together better quality things. And again, I've been a fan of a lot of the Tyler Perry works. I loved a lot of the movies. I liked a lot of the plays. But it's times where I feel like, yo, nah. Like, I really enjoyed If Loving You Was Wrong. That was my show, right? I enjoyed the haves and the have-nots. Thought them shows was phenomenal. If Loving You Was Wrong was my shit. That was my show. Like, I love that show. But it's times where, even when I forgot what I was about to say. Like movies like Boo and Boo 2. It was certain corny interactions and things like that. And again, like, we all can be corny within our own right? I'm not acting like I'm the coolest guy in the world or any of us are the coolest people in the world. But it was certain things like, yo, that was too corny for even like the corniest of people to kind of like, for it to sell to an audience, especially to black folks. And you can't tell me that like some of these interactions were just not interactions that I feel like black folks that grew up around other black people, which he was portraying these families to be. Black folks that grew up around other black folks, like, all for a long time, like these characters are supposed to be, they wouldn't say these things. They wouldn't really interact in these ways. And I think you can get out of touch with that the more you've been in Hollywood, or Black Hollywood, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? Even if you're amongst black people other black people, if they're rich, shoot, they be kind of like above the fray and separated from black folks a lot. But yeah, I do feel like he needs to get writers, man. Because I think a lot of times his shows can be very good and they can be on to something. They can be dope and he can have something that can run for a long time. That could be really good if he has some people to kind of help him, to help bounce ideas off of. Younger people to tell him, no, that's not it. Even some of the wardrobe things, some of the things in the wigs and stuff like that, like, and again, if this was a lower budget, I can understand it, but Tyler got a lot of bread. So, I think it's certain things, even like younger people, not just younger people, other people in general be like, yo, that's not, nah, man, you need a better wig than that. You need a better this than that. Or just, again, to the script, the conversation, the dialogue would be more meaningful. You would get more out of certain scenes if you had a writer that can help you stay on task and not like have the scene all over the place at times. So I do believe he needs some writers, man. And again, I'm not denigrating a brother that's not going to be a lot of brothers talk about him being in a dress, and I feel like that's low-hanging fruit. A lot of black men do that all the time. I'm not finna make a video about him being in a dress and all that. Like, bro, like, people do that all the time. And furthermore, I just feel like, I wouldn't be in a dress. I'm not a man that I'm just never doing that. But people be having problems with Tyler Perry and never had problems with like Martin Lawrence doing this for the longest of time. Martin Lawrence was doing it, and dudes thought the Martin show was the dopest thing in the world and so funny. You know what I mean? They ain't really have a gripe with Martin until Cat Williams just brought it up in an interview on Club Shay Shay. But nonetheless, back to the conversation at hand. Yeah, man, I think Tyler would benefit from writers for real. Because he can have some really dope shows, but it's like, yo, just imagine if, like, I often think about this, right? Now, again, even in the Power universe, outlandish things happen. Sometimes silly conversations happen. But just think about how Power Book 2 started off. Like, I love Power Book 2. I love Raising Kanan. I'm trying to relay a message. Do y'all remember how much we hated Tariq? How much we despised him at the end of the original Power series? And so much so we wondering, yo, is anybody gonna watch a series based on little ass Tariq? Little stubborn, spoiled, ain't shit Tariq. Like, people hated him. But the writing was so good on that writing team that you began rooting for Tariq by the end of the first episode. Some people had at least by the second episode. By the end of the first season, you were all in. You was Team Tariq, right? And the way that those writers made us love a character that we once hated and then allowed us to really be invested in the series around the dude we once hated and the dude we questioned if he could really even carry the show. Now, credit to Michael Rainey Jr. for his acting, because his acting ability is phenomenal. That's really got us invested in the show so much. But the writers, man, they made a difference. They were so phenomenal. The way they wrote those characters and made us really be hooked on Power Book 2. Tyler Perry needs writers like those to help him get to where he needs to be or should be.